basically have the same mindset as Coach Blaha that anytime you look at a man shirtless, anytime you look at another man's muscles or whatnot, does that automatically make you a homosexual? Like, is there no like, oh, I just care about aesthetics. I admire the sport of bodybuilding, or are you just like automatic like that's a guy pants around his fucking panties? I don't want to see that shit. Like that's fucking gay, bro.
See, you made a couple different points there. They might not be different to you, but if you only care about aesthetics, yes, 100% you're gay. So I'm not saying if you care about aesthetics. If you only care about it, oh, 100% that makes you gay. That's even a female word. Like my mom's an immigrant, not she's not even that smart either, right? You know, I still love her. She's my mom. I asked her one time as a little experiment. She's not on the internet like that, right? I asked her, what do you think of guys that say they care about aesthetics? You know, she's from a third world country. Immediately said they're gay. You know, like it's just a thing. Like I don't know, guys get defensive about it. You know, the other points you made. I don't think it makes you gay, right? I forgot exactly what your words were, but you said, "Does that make you gay?" I said, "It doesn't make you gay. You would only do that if you were already gay, right?" That's my point. Like, which came first? Like, you were gay, so you watch that stuff. And I don't think everyone in bodybuilding is gay. I think just the vast majority are. The fans, obviously gay. Like, who's watching it? Not females, right? Old gay guys and young little boys that are honestly closeted, right? Who else watches bodybuilding? Can you tell me? Because I don't know anyone else. Female. So it's. I don't think looking at a guy's muscles makes you gay, right? Like it's someone's body, you're just looking at it. But I think a video that's just a guy posing shirtless, flexing, yeah, yeah. Like what's the difference between watching like a girl half naked, you know, doing like twerking or you know whatever kind of shit girls post? It's the same thing, right? Like when a lot of my friends they do this whole gay bodybuilding thing, I know they're gay, and I tell them they're gay, and you know, not in a bad way. I'm just saying like, hey, I'm not gay, so don't ask me about bodybuilding. And then I ask them like, well, what do you think when these fitness girls post these half naked pictures? And they're like, oh, they're selling sex, they're whores. I'm like, okay, so these guys are also selling sex, but we know the people digesting the content are not female. So it's what kind of sex? Homosexual sex. And I'm not against any of this. I'm just against it for myself. It's not what I'm interested in.
Is the dumbest shit ever. People actually call it a sport. How the fuck is starving yourself and prancing around on your panties a fucking sport? Like what athletic what how is that athletic in any sense? You're fucking around doing a bunch of gay. It's like basically fucking being a model. No one goes to a model. It's like, oh man, that's an athlete. No, I mean they're just fucking homosexuals. I mean, what kind of person wants to fucking torture their body like that? Like seriously, you don't even get a fucking medal for it unless you have like the top 1% genetics. I mean, honestly, serious question here. Would you like rather? Okay, you can be Chris Bumstead. You can have his physique, or you can have a 1,400 pound total. Like what do you choose?
So I don't think a guy that cares about what he looks like makes you gay. That's not what I'm saying here. But if your only thing you care about is aesthetics, especially using that word, like yeah, 100%, they're gay. There's just I don't care if they have a wife. Maybe they're bisexual. Maybe they're in denial. Whatever phrase you want to use, but they're not a heterosexual, right? If all they care about is aesthetics. So like some guy wanting to work on his body, that's completely different. Like bodybuilding, it's like you know there's a dark side to female modeling, right? Bodybuilding's not a sport. You're not an athlete if you're a bodybuilder. You can't play sports when you're on stage. They don't look at that year round. It's more similar to modeling, right? Maybe you want to might call it an art. I think it's a stupid one, but I guess that's how you could categorize it, right? I mean, when you tell me you can have this guy's physique and it's a guy that has a bunch of sight enhancement, I don't want to do that. Like I put a needle in my ass, it hurts, and that's my ass. I'm not gonna inject oils into my fucking bicep, into my delt. What the fuck? And these guys have to do this because of how much. Okay, if you use a syringe, it's more than 3 millimeters, like the standard medical ones. It's there's going to be too much pressure and it's going to hurt like a bitch, regardless of the density of the actual liquid. But like if you use like a 10 milliliter cooking one, don't do that. But these guys say they're on 3 grams of stuff a week. That's not a lot for like a top end bodybuilder. That's probably what they use on their crews. But 3 grams, okay, let's say test. It usually comes in 300 milligrams, right? maybe 250, but let's say it's 300. That's 10 milliliters. Even if they don't want to site inject, they have to at this point. You have 3 milliliters full. Use really 2 to 4. Do that. You have to site inject at that point. Not actually bodybuilders what they say they are, and they're just really naive. You know, they don't have, they have a bad dad basically, an absent dad. I don't know, like they just have an absent father. Honestly, that's who's into bodybuilding. Like for the most part, right? Maybe you find this one exception. If you're not working out for health, longevity, bone density, strength, you're wasting your time. Something's up. And those don't have to be your main priorities in the gym, or even though it doesn't even have to be like a top 10 thing in your life is getting stronger. But if you're going to the gym regularly, you don't care about getting stronger, you don't care about bone density, there's something wrong there. Like it doesn't have to be something you lose sleep over, it can be slow, but that progress there is still stronger than the guys that didn't work out. Or yourself, the bone density. That doesn't mean I'm trying to be an NBA player, that doesn't mean I'm trying to be super lean, but you gotta get it in there somewhere. It's like